Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Runners Like Us, a place for the everyday runner to share their journey of triumphs and their passion of all things running, plus a look at everyday life. I would like to welcome Angus to the podcast. He's an ultra runner, three-time 50K finisher, a 50-mile finisher, a 100-mile finisher, and truly a runner that we can all aspire to be like. He has overcome many obstacles during his journey, and now we have the opportunity to catch up with him to hear his story. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you. You put it all out there like that. I guess I've done a little more than I realized.
Bro, you're a
Yeah.
hero. Yeah, you're a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're super excited to have you here.
hmm
You kind of have a lot to talk about because you've accomplished some pretty amazing things. And
Yes, ma'am.
just to start off, you do have an interesting story. So, wondering if you would be okay telling us where your Instagram name came from and then give us a little backstory on your health history. Have you always been a runner and all that fun stuff?
So J Pouch Runner, pretty literal and straightforward. J Pouch, because I guess a lot of people don't know what that is. Back in 2019, I had my colon removed. So that was part of my long history with ulcerative colitis, which is like IBD. So basically, it got so bad in 2019 that they decided to go the surgery route and take it out. So I had an ostomy for 6 months, and then a J Pouch is when they reconnect everything. So still no colon, but nothing on the outside. Everything's reconnected. But when I was going through all those health problems, I was sick from 2014 until then. I started getting into fitness more as kind of like a way to try and control it. Diet and exercise can
Hmm.
go a long way for that. So I really got into fitness. Got bored in the gym, started doing Spartan races, and kind
hmm
of got bored with that. Everything shut down in COVID. I had all my surgeries, and then I found ultra running. So, I mean, they go hand in hand because I was not a runner before I got sick. I don't know if I would have become a runner if I hadn't gotten sick, but it's always funny because, I mean, it does get in the way and everything. And so, here I am, one organ down, deciding to finally get into running and jump right in the deep end.
Yeah, I mean, that's something huge to overcome and to just keep going. That's amazing. And also, think you inspire a lot of people. And I'm excited to hear more about what you've done. And also, just know that you've inspired a lot of people. And by just talking about it
hmm
openly, is like we all really appreciate that. I know I do for sure. My husband had Crohn's disease and he had 2 feet of his small intestines removed. And so, kind of like can relate a little bit to like trying to figure it out before actually having surgery. And if that's the route you have to take, it's a hard recovery, but I mean, you overcame it and are doing amazing things. So
Yeah,
congrats to you. Yeah.
definitely congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I talk to a lot of people and trying to figure out if that's the right step and what you do. It's a big
Mhm.
scary decision, and it's funny. I mean, my account is named J Pouch Runner, and here we are starting it. And then sometimes I look at like what I post, and I never mention it. Like I go months without mentioning anything about it.
Yeah.
It's funny how it kind of goes up and down.
You just moved too. All these things going on in your world recently. You're
Yeah.
training for a race, but you're moving across the country, and that's a challenge.
When I moved, I by surprise had to drive a U-Haul. Like we thought we were having movers do everything, and I had to pack half of it in a U-Haul and drive from Texas to Philly. I mean, I just decided Friday night that I was doing it, drove Saturday and Sunday, and I kept asking people, is it the ultra running brain that makes me able to just kind of take whatever challenge comes my way and keep going? Or is it the fact that I can do that got me into ultra running? And I think you need a little bit of both.
You talk about the journey definitely from, going through that transition of, getting your health in order and then finding running. How did you transition to just starting to ultra running though? That's a huge jump.
Yeah, looking back, it's kind of nuts because I've never done a marathon. I almost said just a marathon, and like a marathon is
Yeah.
not a just situation. Yeah, I did a half marathon. Said that was boring, and I'm never doing anything longer than that. And then I did a lot of the Spartan races. And then when races weren't going on with COVID and all that, one of the Spartan race groups did this like kind of virtual backyard ultra
hmm
where you just log in and there was like a Zoom call and you could be like, yeah, I'm going to go out and run 4 more miles. And it was just how many loops you could do in 12 hours or something. And I just kind of did it for a challenge coming back from one of my surgeries. I was just really surprised like how much I liked the community and like getting to talk with everybody as you're running. And then I had a friend who was also kind of getting into it, and I paced him at a 100 miler Grindstone, Virginia. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do 100 miles, but like there's something to it. Like I kind of want to try and push it farther. And that got me to do the first 50K. And then I know, Jason, you're kind of going through that now. Like you start checking off
Yeah.
those boxes and the
Yeah.
next one calls to you right away.
Yeah. Just fiending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody always says never going to do the next one. And then you finish it and it's like, I mean, I could go a little further.
What's more? What's a little more, you know?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
already run 50 miles. I guess I could do 100.
Just keep going, you know? You're already halfway there.
You're
Yep.
doubling it. That's crazy. I definitely admire you in your journey. Of course, I follow your page very closely because I'm one of your biggest supporters and semi-haters, of course. But I always like to, see you knock out a run and then you always end with a smile and then the background, you got the sun. For some reason, why is the sun always up for you?
It seems to work out that way.
I don't know. I
Sometimes
gotta
it's the
move where
beginning of
you're
my
at.
run. Sometimes it's the end of my run. You got to do what it takes.
The sun is
Yeah.
a paid actor. That's what it is. But during all these runs, actually, that's no, like a race. What is your most memorable experience from one of your recent races?
The easy answer is definitely I finished my first 100 in
Mhm.
November. I mean, I am not a fast runner. I like to say I'm sub elite. I had a bunch of DNFs. I like the whole day. I didn't think I was going to make it, and there was kind of a point where suddenly I realized like I was going to make that last cutoff. I was going to get there. Again, the sun being a paid actor was like looking
Mhm.
pretty over the overlook and everything,
Of
and just
course.
kind of like getting that feeling that like all of that was coming together. I mean, that was one, and then the other big one that always sticks through. I mean, pacing my friend, like not even my own running, but I paced my friend at Western States, and
Nice.
he crossed
Wow.
with 3 minutes to go, I think, before the
That's
final cutoff.
Whew.
Yeah, and I was there with him when they were blowing the air horn at 2 in the morning. Your last chance to make it, and I was there running around the stadium, and that's one of the things I like about ultra running. Like you don't get that experience. I feel like in some of the big road races when you're in the
Yeah.
back, but like the way everybody cheers everybody on first to last, it's such a nice thing.
Ugh, that's like a dream of mine. I want to pace someone. So, Jason, when you get into Leadville, I'll pace you.
I was actually thinking about that, which we'll talk about on another episode, but you got to formulate the Avengers. If somebody gets in a big race, I'm trying to be on somebody's crew or a pacer,
I know.
Definitely for
Gotta have
you,
a team.
Angus. I'm trying to tell you, we got such a tight-knit group. We can do anything.
Yeah.
I'm getting too hyped. My bad. Sorry. I
Yeah.
get hyped.
You guys did the Leadville half together, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
diabolical.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Mountain race. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother world.
It was no joke.
Well, you ran the whole thing.
No, I was power hiking for sure. It was
Power hiking
very
at a
steep.
7 minute pace. It was crazy. I saw her like running up the side of a mountain. I'm at the bottom, by the way. I'm like, yo, she had enough time to wait for me, have a conversation, and then still finish before I even came back down the mountain. It was crazy.
We did meet up on his way up. I was coming down.
I was struggling.
Don't ever let him forget. Don't ever let him
He
forget.
did the way
Uh-huh.
he looked at me. I will never forget that because I was like, "Hello?
Oh, yeah, it was so
Do you
bad.
recognize me?"
I was literally climbing hands and knees. I'm like climbing up the side of a mountain. Everybody's just walking normal. I'm dying. It was crazy, but I was fiending after that race.
What kind of challenges have you had during these longer races?
Oh, that's a long list. That
Yeah.
just keeps going. I've DNF'd 3 races, 200 milers, one at 70 miles, one at 40 miles, both from hypothermia, and then
Mm.
DNF'd a 50K. From the other end, I overheated,
Mm.
dehydrated. So those were some fun challenges and trying to come back from that for sure.
How's that affect your mental? I know your body feels good and you're moving well, and all of a sudden, bam, hypothermia or dehydration. How do you bounce back from that?
I mean, I think that's like the whole trick of doing these, especially as a back of the pack runner. I mean, even the elite runners, the day never goes the way you want it to go. I think the mistakes that I made in the earlier races are when something goes wrong, you start thinking about this is going to go wrong for the rest of the day. It's
Yeah.
over. You start slowing down. You stop eating. You stop hydrating. It just gets worse. But one of the big things I really tried to work on is lows happen. They don't stay forever. The race I just did, Loopy Looper, I took a nap in the middle of the night because I was so tired I was seeing stuff. And when I laid down on the ground, even though it was like the middle of the summer here in New Jersey, I was shivering from the humidity and everything. And my brain kind of went like, oh, it's happening again. It's over. Everybody's going to laugh. I got hypothermia in the middle of August. Like, what are we doing? But then I kind of just took a step back and I was like, all right, like I need to eat more. I need to drink more. Like I need to keep moving and I'll warm up again. Like I put on a dry shirt. It completely went away. It's a lot of stop, take a inventory of what's going wrong. What can you fix? Keep moving until it gets better because it'll get better.
We definitely want to talk about your 24-hour race. Leading up to that, you work with a coach. When did you start working with him, and how has he really helped you in the long run?
So I started working with him after the second 100-miler DNF. I mean, I was really locked in on the dream of running 100 miles and hopefully run Western States someday. And I was like, I got to get this done. I got so close. I got to figure it out. But what I kind of realized was when you're not super fast, like I needed like a good day to happen for it to go in there. But every little bit you can stack on top of that gives you just that much more buffer room. Like you get a little bit faster, you get a little bit stronger, you get a little more confident. And one of the big things is just I really trust in him and the advice he gives me and the runs he gives me. And I know that it's going to pay off. And then also just the faith he has in me on race day. And I'll text him when I'm in a low. It's not going the way we planned. What's going on? And he's like, no, like you did the work. You can get there. You're going. It just gave me a lot more confidence to kind of keep working at it.
Have you met him in person?
No, I've actually never met him in person.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
We grew up right near each other too, which is crazy, but he's off in California.
He's crazy.
Oh yeah, he's doing all kinds of stuff.
With your coach that you're with now, all right, so what is your like a basic training regimen look like prepping for a race?
Yeah, it's a lot of base building. You know, the whole thing is just building that engine that you have going the whole time. And then we've changed it up for the different races depending what they're like. And like there might be a lot of hill work. This last race was all flat and loops. So we planned a lot of long repetitive runs, practicing the mental part. It's a lot of it's the same stuff everybody knows. You know, you got to do hills, you got to do speed and knowing when to do that. But he does a lot of like what's specific about the race that's going to be a challenge or what's going to be important and like making sure, you know, that we focus on that.
So how do you balance that training and then recovery? Because I know you put in a lot of miles. You're always running. Yeah. So how do you balance your
I
recovery?
think one of the biggest changes I made, it's really helped me be injured less, you know, knock on wood, is I always have 2 rest days a week. So usually Thursdays and Sundays, I don't run. I might like go for a walk or do like some strength work or something. But I really found that those really pay off and trying to actually rest. I think for a while, I got really down the rabbit hole of you got to have more volume, you got to have more volume, you got to have more volume. But I mean, there's only so much volume you can do in a day and still recover and everything. So I kind of got in the mindset of, you know, quality over quantity. And I think that's helped a lot.
Do you do strength sessions also, or?
Yeah, I started doing little strength circuits a couple days a week. I was mixing in some heavier squat days and stuff like that before, but moving kind of between gyms and everything. So I've got a dumbbell and a yoga mat, and I get something done with it. Every little bit helps though, so I don't worry about it too much.
Well, and also with your training, you were doing a lot of sauna heat training. What was that preparing you for?
That was one of the biggest concerns we had for Loopy. Last year, it was really, really hot and it's all just exposed on like an asphalt 3-mile loop. Heat has always been a struggle for me. I'm a bigger guy, and then also not having a colon, hydration is really tough for me. So we really focused on doing that, doing runs in the heat of the day, doing the sauna right after, and kind of just really building that strength. That was one of the things that you got to put it in your training. That's kind of how we did it.
Speaking about the 24-hour race, was it helpful, that heat training?
Yeah, I think it made a huge difference. I mean, the heat didn't bother me at all during the race. There was like a little bit where it was hot. Yeah, my hydration was a little off during the race. So many times running in Texas for the last 3 years, you get that just oppressive heat, just like really burning out the mental side. And I just never had that between the sauna and being like really aggressive on using ice and everything. I mean, I heard everybody like talking about the heat, but I just never really bothered me that much. There's like one loop that it annoyed me, but over 24, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. You mentioned the like mental strategies or strategies during the race. To include mental strategies, what did you employ during that 100-mile race to keep you motivated, keep you going forward?
I think the biggest thing, and I always tell people this, but I'm working on it because like I'm still not as good as I want to be at it, not getting ahead of yourself. Right. I think one of the hardest things in these long races is like you're at mile 20 and you're feeling good or you're feeling bad. Doesn't matter which way.
Yeah.
And you start kind of thinking like, oh, like I'm going to push it too much. And then you get yourself in trouble or you're having a bad time. And, you know, my first DNF, you're just thinking like, man, there's 40, 50 miles ahead of me and I'm struggling. How am I ever going to get this done? So I really try not to do that anymore. I mean, up and down success at how well that worked. But I really just try and like, you know, I'm not out here after running 100 miles, I'm running to the next aid station.
Mm.
So the
Mhm.
next aid station's 5 miles away. We can all run 5 miles, right? Like, so I'm just running 5 miles. I just got to get there, and then I'll do what's next. And you get to the next one, it's like, all right, it's 7 miles to the next one. I can run 7 miles. I'm running 7 miles to the next one. And same thing with this race. Like, I wasn't running 24 hours. I was running a loop, and now I'm running another loop. Now I'm running another loop. I'm just kind of kept it that way.
With that 24-hour loop, how many laps did you do?
24 loops for 90 miles. 3.75 miles each.
And it was on
Oof.
asphalt mainly?
Yeah,
Damn.
it was rough.
Exposed. And what do you do for hydration and fueling? Did you have drop bags or do you have your own spot? See, I've never done those. Like even Jason, what you did on your last race. I'm like so curious. I think I just need to do one, obviously. But
On the drop
That
bag.
sounds like you got to do one. I think you got to do
Yeah,
one.
I think that one was like really different. Again, I was new to like the drop bag and then kind of prepping out each loop. And I'm like, man, I thought you just carry the same bag with you the whole time. I guess you thirst for different things or you need different things. I think I mentioned with the water, I didn't take water until like the third loop, which was diabolical. I had to change out my whole package. Yeah, I know. I think you do need to do the drop bag because you're like, you just doing audibles on the go. I know that was for me. I don't know how it was for you. Well, how was it for you?
I mean, I guess I've done it each one differently because every race I've done has been a loop. This one was really short loops. I've
Mm-hmm.
done 20-mile loops. I've done 10-mile loops. Yeah, I had for this race, I didn't have any crew. I didn't have like anybody with me. So I literally had like a cooler on wheels
Mm-hmm.
and a duffel bag and then like a bin of like extra clothes and stuff. I do it differently for each race. So for this race, since the loops were so short, I
Mm-hmm.
just knew for every loop I need to have at least this much tailwind and gel and salt. And so I just had a bag of different tailwind flavors, a bag of gels, and the salt pills, and I would just grab one of each. For other races where like the loops were different lengths or like the aid stations were different lengths, I
Mm-hmm.
did like plan it out in Ziplocs, and I had like I wrote on it, like loop
Yeah.
1, loop 2, or blue loop, red loop, like whatever, either my crew or if it's just me, like just grab it out and know what it is. You got to be able to pull an audible. That was my first mistake in my first race. I was like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing. We're not changing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're 60 miles in and that bag of Oreos you had planned sounds awful, but you still got to eat something, right? Peanut butter and jelly's calling to you, then eat a peanut butter and jelly, but you don't want to lock it in too much. The only mistake on Loopy was I tried to scale it down, but I didn't pack any solid food, and then I tried to just go on Tailwind and gels. 12 hours in, my body was just like, I don't want this anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So had to figure that out on the go.
Anything besides tailwind that you intake, or you just all
This
tailwind?
this race, I just did Tailwind, and then I do precision gels and beta fuel gels. I wish I had done more solid foods, but also with the heat, that was kind of tough. One thing that worked really well for me in the race I finished was I had a mix of gels and solid food, and then having like salty things. So you kind of change up the flavor as you go. So I would have an hour where I did all sweet stuff, and then I would have an hour where I did mostly Tailwind, but also pretzels or something like that, just to help change the flavor that you're going and really kind of
Yeah.
avoid that fatigue that you get, which I thought was fake, but it's real.
Yeah.
You mentioned salt tabs. You do those.
Oh yeah.
I incorporated them a little when I am marathon training. I should have been doing that all summer. It's warm here and it's actually been more humid this summer than any other. Colorado's been complaining about the humidity. It's like barely anything, but I mean, it gets us.
Yeah, it's a big thing. And I mean, I wish I had started earlier with salt in this race. When I was trying it in training, my coach just had me keep adding more and I kept feeling better. And then it kind of got to a point where I didn't feel any better. I'm like, all right, that's
Mhm.
enough. You got to fuel daily runs too.
Oh, yeah.
You get more out of them. I have to go to work after I run. And if you
Yeah.
don't fuel it, then you're struggling at work all day.
I am surprised by some people for their weekly runs when they're like, oh, I just don't if it's like less than 10. But I've learned that I need to, and I
Yeah.
actually perform better. I'm getting results by eating the gel or some gummies or whatever can get
Yeah.
in. So,
You woke up early to do the run, so you may as well put the
Treat yourself.
nutrition in that you need to do it, right? Like
yeah.
get
Yeah.
everything you can out of it.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So for your training runs, I know you said you was kind of sticking to the tailwinds and the salt tabs for this race, but a regular run, what kind of foods do you dabble
A
in?
normal like morning run, I
Mm,
usually stick with the tailwind and all, but when I get into
okay.
long runs, I'll bring different stuff. So I love getting the to-go packs of Oreos or Nutter Butters.
Mm,
Those go real good in
mm,
the vest pocket. PB&Js are, always one of my go-tos. Pretzel M&Ms, they're always real good to get a handful of. The aid station Coke at 2 a.m, like chugging that down, that'll change your life.
Yeah, so crispy.
Oh yeah. You go bubbles or no bubbles?
Bubbles, sorry.
You
Don't
gotta do
like it.
bubbles.
No bubbles is crazy.
I was almost going to say the wrong thing.
Who's out here doing no bubbles?
People say they like the flat soda because then like they don't have the bubbles, but I love the bubbles because then you get the big burp that comes after, and like sorry to everybody running around me when it's echoing off the trees, but
Echoing off the
makes it
trees
so
is
much
crazy.
better.
Yeah, well, it's like drinking syrup if you're gonna drink flat soda.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah, terrifying.
Oh, that is crazy. You just mentioned with other runners. Like, can you describe the sense of community that you feel when you're running, when you're doing a race, or like when you're training? How does that feel to you?
I think that's one of the big parts I really love about it. It was funny at Dino Valley 100, the 100 I actually finished. You're doing a loop and you're seeing the same people all day and all night. And you can tell everybody going through their highs and lows. Like, I pass somebody, I'm like, hey, man, keep it up. Like, you're doing good. And like, they're not saying anything. And then 3 hours later, they're like, yeah, man, keep it up. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. You get all those little boosts. And Jason, you and I push each other all the time. And we're always challenging each other. And I've got like a group chat with 2 buddies that like we're also like big Eagles fans was how we met, but then we talk with running. I can't reveal the whole group chat name. You can't have that. For a while, they had it as 2 DNFs for me to remind me that I didn't finish my races. But then they also called me like during the race. Like I said, I'm like slowing down and like checking in and talk to me and everything. So the ultra community, like people I've never met, talk to you guys every day. You're always checking in, like seeing how I'm doing, seeing how you're doing. Like it's such a great thing.
Everyone supports everyone. Yeah.
No, definitely a good feeling.
With the 24-hour race and then also with those hundreds, like do you have a specific way you're pacing or you just go off feel?
Yeah, a little bit of both. The 100, because that one was more of a trail. It was go by feel, don't push it. And then we kind of had like a pace boundary. Don't go slower than this, don't go faster than this. Because if I was going faster than that, I was going too much. For the 24-hour race, the weather was really good in the morning. So we actually decided push it, for the beginning and bank some miles and then go from there. But a lot of ultra running, I think, is one, doing it by feel, but also knowing how important it is to trust that feel and when to push and when to slow down. What feels good at the beginning, sometimes you still need to pull back a little bit. It's an easy effort at the beginning because you got 90 miles to go. You gotta be careful with it.
Are you enjoying living in Pennsylvania? It looks like you have a little more trail access, maybe, or is that true from Texas?
Yeah, when I was in Texas, it was at least like a 20-30 minute drive to get to a trail. And there's a huge trail network with like 50 miles of trails that all weave together half a mile from my house. So
sweet.
Half a mile downhill, which means all my runs at the end, I end with a half mile, 200-foot climb, just to put something on the legs. But yeah, I went from trail runs being like a treat on Saturdays to this morning I woke up and was like, yeah, I feel like trails instead of roads today.
So nice to have that option.
I can't believe how lucky we got with that.
Did you move for a job or be close to family?
It's back home. So I grew up here
cool.
in Philly and back with family. That's been fun too. I wasn't a runner when I lived here, and my high school's 15 minutes from here, and seeing all the old neighborhoods, but now just completely different phase of my life and everything.
Cool.
It's great. It's fun. And I get out of that Texas heat.
It builds character, I would say.
And sweat.
There you go.
And sweat, yes. I didn't add this question on purpose, but I do need to know. It says everything about a runner. I'm just saying. What type of shoe do you like to wear when you run?
Ooh, what type of shoe? I was just going through that, and I can see my my pile of shoes from where I'm sitting. I flip back and forth between Ultras and Hokas, which I know are like a weird combination. I love Hokas, but I've got big Hobbit feet, so sometimes I need the big toes on there.
Both good brands.
Do you guys stick to one, or do you do like a rotation?
No, we stick to one. I'm loyal.
What do you got?
New Balance. They should really sponsor me, but I ain't gonna tell them that. But yeah, New Balance. I think it's just how it fits my feet, because like wider feet, I guess it's just how the bottom of my feet are. It's just the cushion. I get the same model. There we go. Fresh foam. I always do fresh foam with a chunkier sole, a little aggressive tread. And then the ankle support. Gotta have the ankle support. If I don't have ankle support, I don't have no legs. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I just stick to the same model. What work?
I have a crazy rotation. It's a little embarrassing, but the shoe problem. I love Saucony. Those are a lot of my trainers for like easy days. But then I do have race shoes like the Endorphin Pros that I love that I'll wear for marathons. And then I love Asics also. I have a couple pairs of those. I've tried Puma, which I didn't mind. I don't know if I'll go back. And then I do have a pair of Adidas also that I just wanted to try them all. I do like the New Balance trail shoe, thanks to Jason. I wanted to try everything because my feet were a little funky too. And I don't know. I mean, I rotate.
That's how I know you're fast because you have race specific shoes. I don't have race specific shoes. I got the shoes that I got the shoes that I wear. They're the ones that still got some miles left on them.
I don't
That's
know.
how you
Maybe it
always
helps.
know.
Like my coach is more focused on road, and boot
Mm.
speed. And I don't know. Everyone on the team wears speedy shoes. I was like, sure, I'll try those.
My buddy's been bullying me for the last 3 weeks, telling me I need to buy some real running shoes. One of my favorite shoes. When you look on the Ultra website, it says it's for everyday running and walk. Yeah, that's why you're so slow. You're wearing walking shoes.
Walking
That's
shoes.
crazy. That's what he took away from that. That's crazy.
That's funny.
That's what I got.
Thanks for saying you think I'm fast.
Yeah, let's not say that again.
We may have had a conversation about a challenge today, so
I seem to remember she passed you going down the hill when you were still working your way up. So I think we know who the speedster is here.
See what happened was that was
I'm
years
never
ago.
going to forget that. You should not have told me about that.
All right, you got me. You got me. So, do you have any future goals in ultra running, or any advice you want to give to anybody considering ultra running?
It's funny timing that you asked. If you'd asked me last week, I had no goals. I was retiring from ultra running and I was absolutely done. But now I'm back in. I was watching Western States videos again this weekend, and
That's what happens.
if you see my name in the lottery, you'll know, I'm giving it a shot. Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is if you're thinking about it, you got to just go for it. I think ultras seem so scary because like marathons are scary, and now you throw ultra on it. And I never forget right before my first 50K, I'm standing there like very back row because I'm not speeding out to the front, and this guy looked at me and was like, "Yeah, how you feel?" I was like, "I don't know, this is kind of crazy. We're doing more than the marathon." He's like, "Yeah, it's a marathon with a 5K walk to the car. You just got to do that. Then you just keep going from there." So there's so many out there. There's so many that it's friendly. It doesn't hurt to try. You got to just give it a go and see how it feels.
I love
That's
that.
dope.
Maybe you love it, maybe you hate it, but here we all are.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
just love that it's every time you're like, I'm never freaking doing that again, and then you sign up for another one.
Immediately.
This is the longest I've gone after the race without coming back into it, but still, here I am.
Man, Western States though, that's dope.
I mean, pacing my buddy through it. I mean, there's just no words to describe what that's like. And then finishing a golden hour, I was like, as we were running around the track, I was hyping him up and everything. And then he crossed the finish line. Like, I have to do this myself one day.
Yeah.
I got to cross the line and I got to run the whole thing. It's gonna be a journey.
You
I'm
can
gonna get
call
there.
us and we got to make it work.
We'll get the whole team going.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy for you though. That's dope.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any big ones that you're planning? Put you on the spot.
I'm gonna try for the lottery again for Leadville, but I think I'm gonna really try to go through a charity or try to win the coin. So I'm gonna have to really work hard for that 50 miler. I think you can get a coin for the heavy half too, right? Yeah, I think you got a podium. I don't know, one of those races. I'll figure out how to do that to earn that spot if I don't get the lottery again. 5 years in a row, by the way, haven't gotten it. That would be the biggest thing, and then I think I'm gonna transition to biking. I want to be like Brandon. Yeah, I'm done running. So yeah.
I don't really have anything on the books. I definitely am itching to do something. I can't decide if it's going to be trail or if it's going to be on the road, but I need to do something. I just
Yeah.
been running. So everyone's like, what are you training for? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just keeping my fitness up so I have an option.
Training for life.
Training for life. Do you have anything else you'd like to share to our listeners? Any advice? Anything else that comes to mind?
My big thing is you got to just take the first step and want to do it, and then forward as a pace is my big thing, and I do that for running. I do that for life, and that's kind of how I got through a lot of the medical stuff. That's how I got through that's how I get through the move. That's how I get through stuff at work. It's all the same thing, and just keeping pushing is better than stressing out about it too much.
Do you run in the mornings or in the afternoon, night? When do you normally do your runs?
I'm a morning runner. I gotta start my day with it. It's become such a routine for me. Keeps me sane at work. Even if I have to explain to everybody that I just ran 10 miles before work,
Got to start the day with a win.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on the podcast. It was phenomenal having you and just learning a little bit more about you and your journey. Is there a place where everybody can kind of check you out and hear your story?
I think on Instagram, JPouch Runner, like we mentioned, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me. And I guess I will add, like you mentioned, if there's anybody out there having big medical stuff and you need somebody that you want to talk about what it's like, I am wide open book. Don't feel afraid to reach out with some crazy questions. I've heard a lot of them.
I love that.
Awesome. What about you, Michelle?
Y'all can find me on Instagram as well at MQUIT.
And also myself on Instagram, go for your 30. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. It was an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
And I look forward to the next one.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
See you guys. Thanks.
No problem.
Thanks, Angus.
And we began